Welcome to Resource PNG. The past 12 months have been eventful for Kumul Petroleum as it makes moves to strengthen its position within the petroleum and energy sector in the country. But there are challenges that still remain. At the recent PNG Mining and Petroleum Investment Conference, Resource PNG spoke with KPHL Managing Director Wapu Sonk. Now, 2016 had been a very interesting year for KPHL. Can you just give us a brief rundown on what KPHL has done over the past 12 months?
KPHL has been busy working behind the scenes on looking at how we can commercialize some of our gas resources in PNG. Apart from the gas resource that PNG LNG project has committed to, and apart from the PRL 15 that Total is talking about building the Papua LNG, there are other resources. So we have been investing our time looking at how best we can develop those gas fields which have been considered stranded for a long time. And now we are now asking the question, could it be developed and who can do it? And Kumul has been looking at how we can play a role in developing the gas resources that have been discovered but left stranded, especially in the Western Province and the Gulf of Papua.
Now, on the issue of stranded gas fields, you made an important announcement during the conference. Are you able to share that with our viewers?
Yes. Like I said, Kumul has been looking at how we can develop the stranded gas fields, especially in the Western Province and the Gulf. And how can Kumul play a role in being the aggregator, being the enforcer of such a concept of putting together the upstream partners, which the licenses are owned by different partners, and downstream gas users, which could be power users, petrochemical, even into the proposed Papua LNG project, LNG plant and the PNG LNG project. Different users can come in. So we feel that we are the best entity, being the state nominee, being legislated to be in the upstream and midstream and downstream business of Papua New Guinea in oil and gas. We feel we are the right entity to be the promoter of such a proposal.
All right. Now, how will you go about ensuring this is implemented?
So what we have done now is we have done some concept studies. We've completed that. We are going into a pre-feed, and end of the pre-feed will tell us whether it is a bankable feasibility or not. If it is a bankable one, we will sell the concept to upstream developers, and we will sell the concept to the downstream gas users, and also the strategic pipeline. We want to sell the concept to potential PNG investors in the strategic pipeline. So we have a PNG consortium owning that pipeline that integrates the upstream and downstream.
Has there been much interest in those stranded fields, as you might say?
There is already discovered gas, and the licenses are there. It has been stranded and were not able to be developed because they are small, they are far from infrastructure like pipeline, and it hasn't been economic for one licensee to develop it. But if we do aggregate and pull those resources together, and a state-owned entity like us bring in cheap financing, hopefully through EXIM and other government-to-government leverage financing that we can source to build the infrastructure that connects all the different stranded fields, I think it's possible.
Do you have a proposed timeline that you'd like to work towards?
I've just mentioned that we will be completing the pre-feed work by April, May 2017. At that point, we will know whether it's actually feasible to do it, it's economically viable or not, and then we will move into feed at that point.
Now, with the development of KPHL, I know the development of human resources is a key component of KPHL. Recently, you announced a partnership with Repsol. Are you able to just bring us up to speed on that particular development?
Repsol have come on board to sponsor 2 of our graduates. They will be doing masters in petroleum engineering, oil and gas engineering in Madrid, Spain. We have also built the Kumul Petroleum Academy, which is now training oil and gas operations and maintenance technicians. There's 32 students already now in training. 16 belongs to ExxonMobil, and 16 are available for the industry to hire that we have sponsored to start the kickstart the academy. Other than that, we've also announced we are running a program of sponsoring graduates or undergraduates in universities in PNG, as well as overseas. And we've announced the graduate development program as well. So we're trying to build the skills as not only for oil and gas skills, but broadly, so they can be in different supporting roles in the industry.
Right. And with talks of development of Papua LNG coming up, that is exciting for students attending the academy as well.
Yes, Total is close to coming on board as well, and the students that are being trained there are looking forward to the new project coming on board. These are highly skilled training that we are providing. It's not for construction. This is to go straight into the high complex, high tech work environment. So they're looking forward to it.
Now, what has been the biggest challenge for KPHL over the last 12 to 18 months?
I think the biggest challenge has been the oil price and the LNG price. There's a lot of strain on what we can do because of the commodity prices. So that pressure is still there, and that's been the biggest challenge.
Has it affected the operations of KPHL in any way? Have you downsized in any particular area?
Luckily, we were just a growing company, and we don't have any operations, but it's really office staff support, so it really didn't affect our operations.
You're watching Resource PNG. After the break, Petroleum and Energy Minister Nixon Duban. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Low world oil prices have impacted revenue for government over the better part of the last 18 months. This has also made it critical for the government to play a crucial role in providing the necessary enabling environment for participants within the oil and gas space in Papua New Guinea. Resource PNG spoke with Petroleum and Energy Minister Nixon Duban to get his thoughts on how the government has done and how it will continue to ensure confidence in PNG as an ideal destination is maintained. Honorable Nixon Duban, thank you for joining us again on Resource PNG.
Well, thank you again to EMTV for inviting me.
Now, 2016 has been a big year for petroleum and energy in Papua New Guinea. What has been your highlight as minister?
Well, we have done a couple of interventions after I sort of resumed as the minister responsible. I looked at in the sense of legislation, we have passed unconventional hydrocarbon, which is an important legislation. It covers shale, which is one of the most debatable topic around the world at the moment, competing directly with LNG. We've also done the regulations. We're looking at trying to get the landowners' issues settled. Also, where the court has not prevented us from paying out the landowners for the plant side and the pipeline segment, we have recently opened up the accounts. So there's about 98 accounts been opened, and now we're waiting for them to elect the office bearers, and then we will release those funds forthwith.
All right. Now, this year has been plagued by landowner issues, as you said. What interventions as well is the government taking to ensure that these do not continuously happen going into the future?
I think the basis for legal interventions are all to do with landowner grievances, and those are emotions that you cannot manage, because people who are upset about a particular issue are free to go to court at any time, and it has given them the opportunity to challenge some of the decisions that the government has made. And one of the biggest problem we have is the issue of Albert Mokai going to court and getting the state to be stuck and not able to release monies belonging to landowners. and as a result also allowing the ADR process to take precedence. We again, under that environment, cannot be able to facilitate any payment. We have been prevented. Also in conducting clan vetting, which is one of the functions that we have undertook. As minister responsible, I have done the ministerial determination for almost 90% of the project landowners. The ministerial determination is a key document that stipulates authentic representation for our people, and that has been done. And in trying to allow our public to appreciate the value of this determination, we need to conduct an open forum and allow the landowners to present any objections. Those periods have been passed, and I think we are set to issue, notice for accounts to be opened, also create awareness and allow them to elect the office bearers for different landowner groupings. And that process was about to start when the court sort of prevented us from engaging with the public and especially landowners.
Over to the Total-led Papua LNG project. How have you seen the progress of this particular project?
Well, I think Total has done well with the support of an experienced oil sets team, and they've done some work on Antelope 7, which is very important to verify certain level of reservoir. Again, we are saying to Total to maintain the timeline that we agreed to for pre-feed, feed, and FID. Government is confident in the operator. We are asking for operator to be also actively involved in community programs so that they have a good relationship with our people of Gulf, and they stick to the timeline that we agreed to and ensure that all the requirements are met before the discussions on PDLs would resume. So at the moment, I've just extended the PRL tenure to cater for that leverage that they sought.
Right. And on the issue of the disagreements between Total's plans to build a processing facility up at Caution Bay and the Gulf governors stand on having all this in Gulf province, what is the position as minister?
I think everybody has a right to express their views. I don't respect the view expressed by the governor. He's entitled to his view. But again, we must always reflect on project economics. And where you have a developer like Total, let's say, taking an option to invest in Papua New Guinea and a European company, let's allow them to exercise their commercial decision without too much interference, and let them make the decision, and we'll allow project economics to dictate. I think our people must understand and appreciate the value of such investment. PNG is a country that has recently entered the LNG market. Without the LNG being exported, we don't stand a chance to market enough of our commodity. We need to understand those difficulties that we face if we remove ourselves from the LNG markets. So I think in general, our people of Gulf deserve better. I think they understand the difficulties that they face as a result of the negligence by past leaders, but they must not compromise on this particular project. It is important they allow this project to be implemented without further delay and interference. I want to also offer a couple of options that our people can look, and that is to do with the domestic market obligation, national content, which are available for them to take advantage. When you talk DMO, you talk about power, gas-fired electricity. You're talking about petrochemical, so those can be established as part of the project agreement. We can also look at issues of how to accommodate landowner interest in terms of getting some amendments made to the legislation, Oil and Gas Act. But let's not create a harder environment for investment. This country is very hard to market it at the international level because of the ongoing publicity that we make, and we create barriers for investment to be made. The more we promote PNG as a country that cannot have investment opportunity, the highlight becomes for the future.
Now, the PNG EITI released their 2013 annual report. The report highlighted some areas that need work on, particularly the manual record keeping at DPE. Has there been any progress made towards improving the system?
EITI can express their views. I appreciate the exposure level that they employ in terms of trying to detect faults and defects in the system. Our problem is basically converting the department into an authority. We need to corporatize standards and practices in the department, and that will take time. So when you see a problem like that, there is no need for us to jump. We need to allow the department, because of the incapacity that it has currently experienced, to have that momentum build upon itself becoming an authority. Once it is an authority, it makes its own money and is left to stand as an independent organization. Then best practices, corporatizing, standards and lesson learned will now take the precedence forward for that department.
What is the progress on that move, and do you have a timeline on when you'd like to see this completed?
I think we have made a decision through cabinet already. Next year would be an important year. While the government will be going through election, it gives the leverage to the bureaucrats to enjoy that privilege of focusing more on the bureaucratic level of goals and objectives set out by the NEC decision. So I think next year, while we are busy doing politics, it would be a good time for them to concentrate on converting the department. We put in some funding already for 2017. They should utilize those funds to immediately make the department become an authority.
Up next, Mining Minister Byron Chan. Welcome back to Resource PNG. Despite relatively low world metal prices, Papua New Guinea's mining sector has seen some milestones achieved in 2016. The applications for special mining leases for two projects, Frida River and Wafi Golpu, have been welcomed by the government, particularly at a time when income from the mining sector has been at lower levels than in previous years. Resource PNG spoke with Mining Minister Byron Chan to get his thoughts on this as well as other issues.
Tonight on the show we have Minister for Mining, Mr. Byron Chan. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you. So tell us, starting from the top, how has 2016 been, the year in focus, basically?
Thank you. Leanne, it's been quite a difficult year, 2016, but the total outcome has been successful. We had difficult times in the beginning with the drought, El Nino, Octedi shut down. We've also had other mines shut down due to some technical and deaths as well in Ramu Nickel. But after all the inconveniences, our mines pulled through. Actually, Octedi gave a terrific dividend. Lihir has come out producing at least 36% more output, including Simberi as well. Simberi has also been at a terrific, difficult time in the beginning, but a terrific ending. Our mines pulled through.
Okay, so you mentioned some of these challenges. How has your department addressed these challenges?
We were very lucky that once we got into government, the Prime Minister agreed that we review all the MOAs in all the mining areas, and that is the significant thing that we undertook. So we addressed all the people's concerns through all the mines, through the relative MOAs. We had issues, a lot of issues raised. We still have issues, especially in Pogera. But, sometimes the difficulties are within our own landowner associations, being able to agree with each other. But my department, through MRA, we're able to deal with a lot of issues, a lot of outstanding matters, and we're still dealing with it. We may succeed in delivering, reviewing around 6 mining agreements. So I hope in the next couple of months we address that. And that has been the significant way forward for the success of these mines operations, to deal with our landowners, getting our people to understand the industry, the operations, and the expenditures that each of these operations have, and how they can benefit from them. And that is all. We've attended to them, and we hopefully, like I said, in the next couple of months, we'll address and complete 6 of these MOAs.
Thank you for that, sir. It's coming to the end of your term as minister. Can you tell us some of the highlights that you've encountered during your tenure?
There've been significant highlights during my tenure, and especially one of the many, especially now, is the application of both Frida and Wafi coming at the same time, seeking a mine license. So that has been quite significant. Now I've also initiated the Kula Gold mine. Tolokuma has come around again, and will be producing gold in the next couple of months, and Kainantu as well. So we've got 2 dormant mines that has been rejuvenated, and along with that, there's the ongoing relationships that we've built along the way with all our landowners. I must take this opportunity to really thank our landowners, the landowners associations, to be so appreciative or so understanding with what we as a country is going through. You know, it is difficult for our landowners to not see some of the benefits out of their resources, and we've tried to address that through our mining amendment discussions and through the MOAs, and I'm very grateful for our landowners to actually understand the industry, the companies that are operating within the areas, what they're going through. Yeah, it's all, and you know, without the landowner's consent, there'll be difficult times.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Resource PNG. If you have any questions or comments on anything on our show, please email us on the address now showing on your screen. For industry updates, you can check out our Facebook page as well as follow us on Twitter. To view this episode online, log on to the EMTV website, where you will find a link to the Resource PNG page. From the Resource PNG team, enjoy your viewing. We'll see you again same time next week. Until then, it's bye for now.